Yeah, you know, I say I want to talk a little bit about the lineup of Vega squad of Team Extreme Supremacy, and what does Cooltea do? He moves across the map with a very early probe. So, probe on the way across. This is Cooltea spawning up in the upper side of Varney Research Station from Team Extreme Supremacy, and down in the south side of the map, our Red Protoss player from Redbloods. It's SpaceMarine taking map number 1 here in this best of 7. So there's that proxy pylon coming down. So Cooltea is another player from Vega Squadron. That joined Team Extreme Supremacy from Vega Squadron. So yeah, I mean, really right now, TES basically is ex-Vega Squadron. Of course, they've got Beastie Cutie and Slivko on there as well. But yeah, pretty cool actually. In my opinion, it's great to see all the players stick together, kind of. And great to get to see them play in the Team League again, because I mean, Cooltea is someone we've gotten to know really well during the Team League. Of course, we've in previous seasons, he actually came out as the final player for Vega Squadron during Optimus's all kill in the Season 2 Grand Finals. So yeah, we've seen Cooltea a lot. He's given us some great games throughout the past year and a bit that we've been running the SC2 ITL. So great to see him continuing to play. He did take a break for a while, and then came back to the game. As we see this probe moving across the map here from SpaceMarine, and we'll see what he's going to try and get up to. So this probe moving across, and we'll head into towards the main base here, and Cooltea will be pretty much all set to go. So yeah, he's going to be able to spot the lack of a gateway, of course. Of course, there's a proxy gateway down. So this probe's actually going to spot the lack of a gateway, which is immediately kind of worrying. And SpaceMarine should start up a Zealot straight away. Cooltea will head in towards the main base. But no Zealot just yet, so he's not really figured it out. He is moving towards the natural. He's still not doing anything. This first Zealot comes in, second Zealot on the way. And of course, the plan here for Cooltea will just to be... Well, I would have thought it would have been to try and get a Stalker out nice and quick, but he actually doesn't have his own Cybernetics core on the way just yet, which is a pretty big thing. Considering his opponent's Cyber core is on the way as well, so he's going to fall behind in terms of Warp Gate research here very shortly. If these two Zealots do move forward, the second gateway being added on. And these Zealots are looking to try and get something done, but there's not much. There's not much just yet. As okay, these two Zealots will move forward. So he hasn't lost a probe yet, right? That's the first probe going down in this game. So these first two Zealots really haven't done much at all. The Stalker on the way now as well. We'll be able to turn these away. Third Zealot comes in, and Cybercore not yet finished for Cooltea, as probe just get taken out over here as well. And Cooltea, I guess, just makes a Stalker now, but he's going to be a Stalker down at all times, but he does have more Zealots, which means he can pressure a little bit more. Yeah, it's actually the first player to start Warp Gate in this game, which is quite interesting. SpaceMarine really just delaying that to get his Zealot and Stalker. I'm surprised that he didn't see a Mothership core, so was maybe really afraid of just Stalkers coming in very quickly from his opponent, which I would say is kind of the standard way these games usually go. There's two Stalkers are being made out of time here for SpaceMarine. He should be alright. Two Stalkers and a Zealot against 3 Zealots and a Stalker right now. He should be able to out-micro this, and for now he is. May use a couple of probes as well. He's actually fallen behind in probes, and I mean, that's weird because he's not really lost that many, or not as many as he's fallen behind by. These Zealots still doing quite a bit, so maybe I've underestimated this attack from Cooltea, as he's picking off a lot of workers, and SpaceMarine taking some pretty major damage. He's actually 10 workers down, and you know, that's almost unrecoverable in the PvP this early on. Without something already on the way to go and kill workers of your opponent, basically, I would say this is pretty unrecoverable. This pylon will go down, and one more Stalker will pop out. You should be able to get away with this. It's rallied into those Stalkers right now, which isn't great. And yeah, that pylon just get picked off there. These 3 Stalkers are chilling out. They're going to actually move upwards and move back home now. So extra gate is being made for Cooltea as well as a Stargate. And again, he holds an advantage. He has 10 workers ahead, now only 8. Over time, SpaceMarine should catch up, but still he's not in a great position, and especially if Cooltea gets aggressive again. There's not going to be a Photon Overcharge for a while. I mean, there should be one by the time any aggression does come his way, but there won't be a second for a long time after that. So Cooltea, let's see what he does. His own Mothership core only just pops out right now, as that Oracle is on the way as well. First Oracle here. Warp Gate finished, so you can warp in these gateways into Warp Gates. And he is just going to drop an expansion, so He's basically just saying right now, right, cool, I know what's up, I know what's happening. I'm just going to, I feel pretty safe, so I'm just going to drop the expansion and take my early advantage. And, you know, just work it into something more, you know, instead of kill him now. You know, classic SC2 quote coming up here, guys. When you get ahead, get further ahead. And that is what Cooltea is looking to do. Oracle moving across the map, so this will keep SpaceMarine busy, as he does have a robot facility on the way up. And with that robotics facility on the way up, he'll be able to get into an Observer and Immortal soon. Cooltea with his own robot facility coming in now. And Probe should be caught here, actually. And that's going to be a really nice pick-off. Denies the Nexus for a little while longer, and will just extend the lead Cooltea has in this game. Moves forwards, and he's going to get a couple of probes here. Could have probably got that one before moving away, but just wanted to be safe with the Oracle. So 2 workers in total, which still keeps him at an 8-worker advantage, and that will increase as this Nexus finishes on the natural. He'll be able to double produce probes for quite some time, as again, Space Marine's Nexus is only just now going to be starting to come up in that production tab, which is, again, not ideal. Stalker's moving forwards, and we'll turn around this Oracle. Couple of sentries here, popping out that hallucination, and that will be sent across the map to try and scout. So, excuse me, so yeah, hallucination moving across the map here, trying to look for a little bit of a scout, as an observer will move out to the front. Hallucinate Phoenix will move forwards into towards this base, and yeah, I mean, there's not much to see. I mean, there's a forge on the way down. But apart from that, I mean, it's a very standard opening here, so I mean, all he's really confirming is that his opponent's not going to kill him. Space Marine actually starts a blink, which is interesting. I mean, he's behind and he's going to go into blink, which is more of a, you know, a harassment-focused kind of style. And at this point in the game, it's, you know, how much damage is blink going to get done for you? +1 starts here, and it will start for Space Marine shortly as well, so he's not going to be too far behind on upgrades, but he's still 12 workers behind, guys. And again, this is PvP, a mirror matchup. Mirror matchups are so volatile when it comes to economy. You know, PvP and ZVZ, if you don't have as many workers as your opponent, generally, you're just going to be way far behind the game, because there's, you know, you're meant to be even, you know, it's kind of how it works out. It's not like you play massively different compositions or so. So, yeah, these a couple more workers go down. The Oracle does die, which is a little bit of a shame, but not the end of the world. There's a couple of hallucinations coming across the map from both players. Space Marine just pulling an observer back. I was checking just to see if, in case that was a probe and you wanted to take maybe a fast third base, try and get back ahead in this game, or try and get back into it a little bit in terms of that economy. Still, a 15 worker gap is absolutely huge right now, as we see this first Immortal finally starting up for Space Marines. So, I mean, the question is, oh, what? I think he thought they were real Phoenix. I mean, he must have, right? There's no other way, there's no reason to pop a foot on overcharge otherwise. So I guess he just thought they were real Phoenix from the Stargate. So that was kind of interesting. Warp Prism pops out here. Wow, we're actually going to see Immortal drops, which is very, very exciting. Man, I remember when these first became a thing. It's back in Wings of Liberty, right? It must have been in Wings of Liberty. I think it was back when like we had like Seed versus MC in the GSL finals. It was that kind of time, and Immortal drops were really, really cool. They were a really cool way to keep your opponent, you know, held back at home. Has to be careful though, because I don't think he's expecting Blink at all here. We'll check his vision to see if he has seen Blink or not. I mean, it doesn't really matter. He just needs to make sure he doesn't lose the Warp Prism. I mean, 2 Immortals, yeah, they're going to take down them Stalkers, no problem. A couple of Zards here, we'll start getting targeted. Then very quickly just check the vision. So he saw the Twilight, so he probably does know Blink is in this game. But again, just have to be a little bit careful of that. Photon Overcharge popped on the natural. And is that a Stargate from Space Marines? So he's going to start making Phoenix of his own here. Behind of this, by the way, third base for Cooltea is about to finish up, cannon in place as well. I guess the Phoenix is kind of cool because it chases away the Warp Prism, but what was the rest of the plan? He's going to make another Phoenix. Why? I mean, why build the Star? Why does he have a Stargate in the first place? Is the better question, I guess. Yeah, like an 11-minute Stargate, that's not something you usually see added on in PvP, so a little bit of a question mark about that one right now as Temple Archives drops down for Cooltea. I mean, he's just getting into a fantastic position here. Getting his own Blink, getting his +2, a little bit ahead of his opponent. But I mean, just adding on gateways, this third base is of course a big factor here. As Cooltea is still in a really good position right now. Still 16 workers up. And again, all the little things are just going to be adding up over time. He's the closest count is actually even. But again, he's got this third base, so he's just going to be able to afford more gateways, afford more gateway units sooner. and he's just going to be able to move across the map with it. And we've seen 2 Phoenix be made, which are going to be completely useless for SpaceMarine. I mean, I don't think... I mean, he might be able to pick off a Warp Prism, but you shouldn't have to rely on 2 Phoenix for that. So, that's a little bit weird. And there's more and more gateways being added on here, guys, so... Again, just... wow, a ton of gateways. How many gateways is this in total? I guess he actually didn't have that many considering he's on 2 bases. So he's on 6, and he's adding on 7. Okay, that's actually a lot. That's 13 gateways. I'm pretty sure he just moves across the map right now and just goes to kill his opponent. I don't think there's... I don't think you just... I just don't think you keep on building units, you know, building Colossi, etc. from this. I think you just go, but there's another Colossus. I mean, 13 gateways, though, is a little bit extreme. A couple of High Templar are going to get loaded into the Warp Prism, perhaps? No, just going to make into an Archon. Could still go into the Warp Prism, though. Let's keep an eye on that, I guess, and see what he does decide to load up. Kind of interesting to put the Warp Prism into Warp mode to warp them in instead of using Pylon, which is in range, but again, it's not a major difference, I suppose, as these Phoenix are still flying around being as useless as ever. Hallucination as well, just trying to watch for an army moving across the map. Army supplies are, yeah, still in favour here for Cooltea. His +3 has started as well, and he's been really focusing on his Corona Boost and them upgrades. And you can see, because it definitely wasn't this much of a gap beforehand. We're now talking about kind of a minute and a bit gap on them upgrades as a 3rd Colossus pops out, and he's going to be able to move across the map with this and try and see what is going on as this Phoenix is going to be chilling out. Pylon put down. And these couple of Stalkers here. A few shots on a Phoenix, and that Phoenix will fall as more Warpins come in. So Cooltea is perhaps getting ready to move forwards here once again, or for the first time, really. I mean, again, I guess he's been the aggressive player throughout the game, but this is the first time he's moving forward with this big army. SpaceMarine's just committed to a 2nd robot facility, so he's going to start double Colossus production, and that will... I mean, right now it's 4 versus 4, but he will start to take a lead in that. So Cooltea really does have to kind of go now and make this work, and he definitely can. I mean, being 1 Colossus behind doesn't make up for kind of a 50, almost 60 army supply deficit. The Phoenix here will get killed off in a moment or two, and these units will move forwards here. These Zealots, time will drop down. I mean, it's hard to imagine a way that Cooltea doesn't win this fight. And as you can see, his Zealots are just going to way outnumbered. There's Archons here as well for him, and these 2 Immortals from earlier in the game too will also be helping out. I mean, he's even winning this battle with kind of some Colossi sat in the back, not really doing anything, and GG will be called as